other stories from the world of sports. Jane, last one with Manchester City and Atletico Madrid today. Let's
Sporting Lisbon shows you that the attacking prowess of this side is something that every team has to be wary of. So I think, yes, Suarez has always been there, but trust me when I say definitely I'm giving it to the attacking lineup of Manchester City. They should be able to have an edge over that of the Atletico Madrid side, but let's see how it pans out today.
I do think otherwise. I do think that the partnership of Juan Felix, Antoine Griezmann and Luis Suarez has a lot to offer for Atletico Madrid. I mean, Manchester City seem to be a team who plays as a team. Every single player have the opportunity to score for them. But for Atletico Madrid, there is a lot to offer from those three and then up front for Atletico Madrid. But then we talk a little bit of boxing, where world boxing teams across Nigeria, and with his father by the sideline cheering for the Nigerian-born British boxer. Now, Jane, we've seen when you talk about the mixed martial art boxing, a lot of Nigerians have improved. A lot of Nigerians have shown that Nigeria as a country has lots of prospects in these sports. How much do you think the country needs to do in order for us to have these sports homegrown in the country? I mean, we have, when you talk about MMA, we talk about the Adesanya of this world, we talk about Israel Adesanya, we talk about other ones there. Now in boxing, there is Anthony Joshua somewhere, and there is Lawrence Okoli. How much does this country need to do to benefit from sports, physical sports in Nigeria?
If you talk about the talents, we've got the talents. There's no doubt about that. We've got the talents, and in boxing, we've got what we need to be able to excel in the sports. But the problem, of course, we've seen a situation whereby these talents, when growing up, they don't have anyone to, help them achieve their dreams. There's no sponsor. They are doing everything on their own, trying to see how they can make ends meet and put their name, of course, right there in the world map. So when we've seen situations like that get to pan out, and then we see situations where the boxers decide to leave the country, the shores of the country, to go to another country to where they think they can get as much support that they need, to help them push forward. And we see where they are Nigerians but not Nigerians, in terms of getting to represent Nigeria. We have no doubt about that. We have abundance of talents right here in the country, but the development is where we have issues with. There is no much sponsorship. There is no much money. Funds are not being put into harnessing these talents and sustaining them. And then we get to see this, of course, talents go out to struggle on their own to make a name for themselves outside the shores of this country. So I think Nigeria should focus more on how they can not just harness this talent, because if it's just about harnessing, no doubt we have the talents, but it's about sustaining these talents, putting in enough funds to be able to sustain this talent, send them out on invitational tournaments, get to make sure that they feature constantly in. To do that, we will definitely have more of these stars get to represent Nigeria.
We hope to see more of the stars get to represent Nigeria. We hope to see some of this biggest international bouts being taking place around the world come close to Nigeria. We hope to see the government invest a lot in building facilities to have Nigerians train and have some of the best come out of the country. We'll take a short break, and when we'll continue, Liverpool versus Benfica, another Champions League game to expect. Champions League night brings a whole lot of excitement. Manchester City versus Atletico Madrid. We just did justice to it thanks to the prowess and the analytical power from Jane. And Jane, we will be coming to you once again in the game against Liverpool versus Benfica tonight. Liverpool will hope to take a step closer to reaching the UEFA Champions League semi-final when they take on Benfica today.
It's going to be a very tricky one. The Benfica side are not so good at home. They are playing at home today. They've just not been able to, grind out the possible results from their home and checking out their statistics, it means they have won just 3 out of the 7 matches that they have played at home, recently. And but head to head, Benfica seem to, have an edge over Liverpool, because head to head, Benfica have won 3 out of the 4 games that they have played, whereas Liverpool has won just 1. And we saw that pan out right there in 2006 when, firstly in 2006, of course, when Liverpool got, Benfica were able to defeat Liverpool 2-0. And then we had in the return leg, Benfica also defeated Liverpool 1-0. That was in 2006. Then coming down there in 2010, we had that was the very first win Liverpool had over Benfica. They had a whooping 4-1 victory over Benfica, but we had that in the return leg, Benfica was able to get a 2-1 victory over Liverpool. So definitely head to head, Benfica seem to have an edge, but the bookmakers' favorites for this game definitely has to be Liverpool, because Liverpool are in a form of their life at this moment. They are winning games. They are going for, they are still in the mix for about 4 major competitions that they are in. So they are thinking that if we can go this far, then what's stopping us from winning all the 4 competitions that we are currently involved in? So they have a motivation. They have something that they think it's, a driving force that they think it's pushing them to wanting to get that one over Benfica. But like I said, in Benfica, the rivalry between those two, Benfica seem to have an edge over Liverpool. But this evening, I do not think they can be able to withstand the fireworks of Liverpool this night.
Well, that driving power might be the 11 match winning runs in the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp's only defeat was an ultimate inconsequential result as they went down 1-0 to Inter Milan in their most recent Champions League outing. Liverpool beat Benfica 4-1 the last time the club faced off against each other ahead of latest meeting between the two sides. The hard tackle take the closer look at the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal first stage tie. Jurgen Klopp does not have any roster issue to deal with ahead of the trip to Estadio de Leos. The Liverpool manager will have a full fit squad at his disposal at the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal first leg. Now, Jane, 11 match unbeaten run. Is this the 12th one for Liverpool?
I think I don't see anything stopping them from getting that win. This is a Liverpool side that have won 8 of the last away games. They are doing so very well. They actually have conceded. It was just that loss, that insignificant loss against Inter, which seemed to have, put a dent on their winning run. But take that, like you rightly said, it's inconsequential because they were still able, to qualify over Inter. But this Liverpool side seemed to know how to defeat the Portuguese teams. We saw how they did it over with Porto right there, where they were able to defeat Porto in the group stage. So I think they seem to know how to defeat the Portuguese teams. But I see nothing stopping them from winning that game today. I actually see nothing stopping them. But like I told you, head to head, Benfica seem to have an edge. It's more a question of, will Liverpool try as much as possible not to underrate that Benfica side, because that's exactly what happened to Ajax. They should try as much as possible not to underrate that Benfica side, and I see them winning this one.
Well, Naby Keita, Keita James, Trent Alexander-Arnold are 3 players who are not solely fit for Liverpool. They seem to be struggling with a little bit of fitness issue, and the possibility of them not being available for the game is still there until the list is being released. Now, Jane, Trent Alexander-Arnold, for the past 2 years in Liverpool, has been a mainstay in that squad. Naby Keita came into the squad with a whole lot of perspective, but injury problems seem to have hampered more of his playing time than his actual playing time on the pitch of play. For Trent Alexander-Arnold, do you think it's going to be a problem if he doesn't recover early to make the matchday squad for Liverpool?
even if he gets to recover, I think we should not be expecting so much from Arnold. I think this is someone who is struggling for fitness. He's striving to see how he can be fit. So at this moment, we might be expecting too much from him if we're expecting him to feature and get to do wonders in this game. But take nothing away from that Liverpool side. I think they should be able to handle.
In the side, I mean, the Benfica side shocked the world. I mean, a lot of people were surprised when they saw them do that win against Ajax Amsterdam. But for Benfica as a side, let's talk about Benfica this time around. Internal squabbles between the team, players and coach squabbles in Benfica, the issue of the coach and the management, the change of management being expected anytime soon, the new manager coming into the side, a former Portuguese international leading Benfica as the new president of Benfica. Do you think this whole out the field play, off the field politics will affect Benfica in this game against Liverpool?
No doubt about that. Psychologically, it's going to have a part to play, you know, in this game today. But I think the players are professionals enough. I think the players understand, you know, what it means to be playing in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So they will try to see how they can be able to put their troubles behind them, you know, and see how they can forge ahead, at least to still, you know, maintain their spot right there in the Champions League. So no doubt it's going to affect them. But I think the players are professional enough to see how they can, you know, try to sweep this one under the carpet and forge ahead.
If you're really going to affect them, it would have affected them in the group stage, because I mean, they ousted Barcelona in the group stage rounds and they came second behind Bayern Munich to qualify, and in the round of 16, that was where they gave the world the shock by beating Ajax Amsterdam to qualify for this stage of time for themselves. Now Benfica may not have the name in the UEFA Champions League in the past 10 years, but they seem to have some of the best set of players when you talk about the Portuguese league, and maybe the management problem. But if you talk about the pitch of play, they find a way to play, Jane.
We understand that when they played Barcelona in the group stage, Barcelona, if it's were to be the Barcelona of this current form, I'm pretty sure it would have been very difficult for Benfica to be able to defeat Barcelona. Barcelona had their issues at that point in time. They had their woes, which I think they have been able to solve, and they're beginning to get their you know, acts back together. But what happened between them and that Ajax? I thought Ajax underrated them. I thought Ajax felt did not really get to take them that serious, which was what led to that defeat to Ajax. So, but it doesn't take away the fact that there is an issue. There is an issue with the club. But like I said, the players are professionals. They are finding a way to be able to not to let that issue come to affect their play, even though they are human beings, even though no matter how they want to overlook things, the problems are still there. But I think they are professionals. They should be able to, you know, find a way to be able to play and get the result. And playing over against Liverpool, they do not have anything to lose. This is a Liverpool. Everybody's expecting that Liverpool should be able to do, not just get to win, but do a double over them. But I really do think that they are down. They have nothing to fear. So they would definitely come out to play, because no one is giving them a chance to be able to defeat Liverpool in this one. But I think they would come out understanding that they have nothing to lose. They will come all out to see how they can contain this Liverpool side.
Well, just like you said, the players are professional, and they've been able to keep it up in the last 10 games, winning 9 and losing 1. The game they lost was just during the weekend, where they lost 3-2 to SC Braga in a blow to the preparation of the meeting against Liverpool. Nelson Verissimo does not have any new injury concern happening in his preparation ahead of the visit to Liverpool on Saturday. The Benfica manager will be barely off the service of only 3 first-team players in the worst-case scenario. Lucas Verissimo is a long-term absentee due to the knee injury and has likely ruled himself out of the remainder of the season. But Diego Pino is unavailable, has been a mainstay for Benfica in the past 3 seasons. Would you think his unavailability would be a problem for Benfica?
No doubt about that. This, if you have a player who gets to feature when he is fit, he gets to feature in all your games, and then you do not have the luxury of choosing that player, there's no doubt that it's gonna. He has been a very good player for that Benfica side, but I think the coach understand that there's actually nothing he can do, and he will see how he can be able to put up a tactics that can contend that Liverpool side, which so knows what two seasons back. So they are still thriving on that victory. They still think, okay, we missed out on that one last season. So let's see how we can be able to come back this season to be able to get this one. It's definitely not going to be easy for Benfica, but like I told you, they have nothing to lose. So I see them coming all out to play this one.
Let me put Jane on the spot this time around. Jane, call it out. Benfica versus Liverpool. What do we get to say?
Head-to-head, Benfica seem to get it. But based on current form, I should be giving it to Liverpool.
How about the game?
It's a bit tricky. I still do not know who I'm going to give it to. Understanding the fact that it's at the Etihad, slim victory right there for Manchester City.
Well, if you're expecting me to call that up for you, for uncalled misconduct, the men's governing body says the ATP told players it was also reviewing its penalties for serious violation and repeated offenders. Australian Nick Kyrgios was fined a total of $60,000 after a 26-year-old outburst at the Indian Wells and the Miami Open earlier this year. Kyrgios was fined $35,000 after criticizing the umpire and smashing his racket on his fourth-round loss to Jannik Sinner in Miami, and then $25,000 at the Indian Wells after again smashing his racket, almost hitting a ball boy in the process. German Alexander Zverev was also thrown out of the Mexican Open after hitting the umpire's chair with his racket. Meanwhile, world number 3 Zverev, who is 24 years old, was given a suspended 8-week ban after attacking the umpire chair with the racket in Acapulco. Straighter punishment we're expecting to come this time around for ATP players, Jane. Let's keep it short.
Expectedly. This is something you cannot get to see happen in the world of football. The referee, no matter the bad call, coming from the referee, they try to preserve or protect the referee. So I think maybe there's been a whole lot of indiscipline recently, with the tennis stars, and I think that's because maybe they don't have stringent, measures, being meted out to these tennis stars, and that's why they think they can actually do some of those things that they are doing and get away with it. But I think with this recent call, there's every tendency that by the time you think about, mixed behaving, by the time you look at what's there, waiting for you, you definitely have a rethink.
Well, you really do have to have a rating. More trending stories on the world of sports, but we could not take them today, and we apologize for that. You join us tomorrow morning on Sports Talk as we preview everything that happened in the UEFA Champions League later tonight and other trending stories from the world of sports. My name is Oke Kenneth. I did the show with Jane, and for more information, you could continue streaming us live on Atlantic TV Network, on Instagram and on YouTube, Atlantic TV Network, while on Facebook, we are at Atlantic TV Network. Peace and unity, they say, is a pathway to progress. Let's keep the peace.